Got audio anyway. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to CDR. I am your host for this evening, Wee Rabbi. You'll notice that we are a commentator short tonight. Unfortunately, Curly's a little bit preoccupied with some family business, shall we say, but we're wishing him well. We hope to see him back soon, but until then, unfortunately for you guys, you are stuck with me for this evening. Captain Dibs, evening bud, can't hear you if you're talking. Please, by all means, let me know if you can hear me loud and clear. This is the first time I've broadcast to YouTube in a long time. So, having a look. I'm actually having a look. You've got short of a few drivers tonight. Obviously, fellow teammate of mine, Harvey, he's not here tonight, so we'll be looking at Mihai to make up some moves and hopefully drag McLaren some decent points. Good to see some regular names in here. Panda, Josh, Cavalis always, Nurseback, Phoenix. I'm just trying to see who has made an appearance and who is not. The boss man sitting there in the Ferrari this evening. Got one or two out. I believe is it Northern Nat that's the first on his lap. We'll jump aboard with him as we set off for our first flying lap here this evening in Qatar. Let's see what these boys have got. Obviously, myself being a tier 3 driver, I will be watching what strategies these guys are going to be using tonight, seeing if I can use something, capitalise on my own race come Sunday evening. Fingers crossed it's going to be a good one. Any guys watching, let me know what you think of Qatar. Personally, it used to be a firm favourite of mine, but recently, oh, absolutely not. Not with the, I don't believe I've raced this one yet. And with the handling set up on these cars, the setups that I've used, the back end is very, very lively. I'll just stay where we are. By all means, guys, let me know what you thought of the sprint qualifying today. Obviously, Lewis Hamilton, not a good result for himself. Hopefully Dan and Greasy will be trying to do Ferrari some justice this evening. Martin, welcome buddy, how you doing? My name's Wee Rabbi, I'm a tier 3 driver, just in case you're curious. I believe you've maybe tuned in to watch Curly on the Friday night. Unfortunately he's not with us this evening, and I've had a mad dash getting in from work. Try to get this set up, so big shout out to Chloe as well for giving me a hand. They said that they're on their works night out this evening, so... Oh, it's Wabby! Wabby, what you doing, mate? You need to get that name changed. That was a wee bit of a curveball there. I see the name now, Martin Wabby. Right, fair enough, brother. How you doing? How you doing? It's good to have you along here, even if it's on the YouTube instead of the Twitch. Let's have a look, Dan. And validation, you'll be heading back into the pits. He is indeed. Next across the line, Ali heading onto his hot lap. We've got an Aston Martin there, quickly approaching the last corner. I know, mate, I know. It's a learning curve for me. Don't know what you guys prefer. Do you guys prefer Twitch or YouTube? Let me know, because obviously with myself and Curly are streaming races in future, it's maybe something we could discuss. Obviously, again, with Dan, I'm not sure how it works here with CDR. Although I do believe someone said earlier that you can do a twin broadcast. So if you guys prefer YouTube or Twitch, let me know. And I'll discuss that with the boss man and we'll see what we can do to get it moved around. If that's what the guys like. Who's next across the line here? We do have Northern Natty, obviously he's on his in lap. Aston Martin of Welsh Benjamin, the tyre whisperer. He's just heading on his hot lap. Come on, guys, let's have a look. We do have Mihai quickly approaching the line here. On his hot, he's just on his out lap as well. Right. Let's have a look. It's Captain Nibs at 122.1. We'll give Ali a little bit of airtime here. He is coming up quickly to the last corner here. I'm with you, Wabby. I'm with you, mate. This is an absolute horrible track, this game. Used to be a very, very fun favourite of mine. I used to love seeing it coming on the calendar. It was always a track I felt I did okay with. I'm not a driver that tends to like technical tracks, but when it's fast-flowing bends, I really, really enjoy it. And this one, in the previous games, it suited me to a T. This time round, mate, I cannot keep this car on the track at all. The setups I've got, the setups I've tried, the back end is so loose. We've got Kane there, he's on invalidation 35%. I don't know why he's not just went into the pits or started to harvest that battery for another attempt, as we've got Benji approaching the line here. Last little squirt of the ERS, he's going to deplete slightly just before the line, comes across 123.0. Quality very important here, I'd say. Absolutely, mate, absolutely. It's a funny one because I believe people aren't going to be running super low wings. I think we're going to see people as high as the 40s. Obviously, we're not going to see anything silly as Monaco, like a 50-50 wing setup. If we do, I'd be very surprised. But I wouldn't be surprised to see guys pushing into the 40s, perhaps the high 30s. But then that start-finish straight is massive. And if you're in the DRS, you're going to pull some decent time out of there. We'll jump on board with Max Mario. Give him a little bit of airtime here in the Alpine. See what he's got. I'm going to turn this audio down because these cars are absolutely screaming in my ear. Like I say, Wabby, it's good to have boys like yourself jumping in, having a look, seeing what these guys are doing. I think I'm going to treat this as a bit of a training session for ourselves, see what the strategy these guys are going to be running. Tyre setups, is it going to be a one-stop? Is it going to be a two-stop? I'm probably going to say a one-stop may be doable, but I think the majority of what we're going to see here tonight is going to be a two-stop. I will have a slight disadvantage come this Sunday because I'm a little bit late on this Sunday. It kicks off at 8 PM instead of 8:30, which means I don't get a choice of tyre selection. I'm always stuck with the balanced tyre setup, where usually I would like to run that harder compound setup. And I think that is what most of the people are going to be running here this weekend. We're on the penultimate corner, quickly approaching the final corner here, saving a little bit of battery for this last push to the line. Gets on the ERS really early there. 123.2. Soft, hard, soft, soft, or medium hard, I'd say, mate. Mate, I think the medium hard is probably the way I would go as well, mate. I was going to say that's a few stops you're looking to put in there, brother. No, I think the medium hard's definitely going to be the one to go for. We'll jump on board with Nerf, give him a little bit of airtime in the Haas. This track's so slippy for me anyway. I'm really struggling with this one, but these guys are making it look easy. 122.1 here in Q1, the time to beat the benchmark that has been set so far by Captain Nibs. Nerf Park brings it across the line. What is he doing? A 123.1, so a whole second off the pace here. Tenor, the only one not to have set a lap yet. Dan must have had a bit of a mess up there. 125.3, getting well out the way there. As Tenor comes through, we'll give the Sauber a little bit of time here. He is coming up just to start the push on his hot lap. For anyone that is interested, give me 2 seconds, I'll get the standings up. So Luckman leading the charge, 95 points, just clearing Cavalis on 82, and then Tenor on 71 points. So not too bad. I'm getting pings. If you guys can hear any pings or boops, I do apologise. And if you hear any kids screaming in the background, don't worry, they're not being tortured, they're just my little boys. It's getting very close to bedtime. I will say, guys, again, apologies in advance. If it's alright with you guys, I'd like to skip post-race interviews this weekend, just purely because I'm up early again tomorrow. I only work the weekends, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And it is a mad dash for me getting home, just to try and help you guys out here tonight. Try to get all this set up, and then I believe normally these races going on until about 10:30 PM. And ideally I'd like to get off, get a shower, get something to eat, and get myself tucked up into my bed, because unlucky for me, I'm back to work tomorrow for 7 AM. I'd love to be like the rest of the world and work the normal conventional hours. Here we go, around the last corner again, a little bit early on that ERS in my opinion. Comes across the line up to the 122.5, just behind his teammate. Captain Hindsight there, nothing in it whatsoever. As we've got Panda, who I believe will be coming in. He is indeed. Panda, a regular name for me, a boy that I've raced with many times. I still struggle to believe he's on a pad. I think that gentleman needs to make the move, get himself on the wheel, show us what he can do. Miha here, 122.5, not a million miles off the pace here. Only McLaren driver on this evening. As you have a look at the board, we are short of a few drivers tonight. Don't know if it's maybe everyone's got out for their works night out. Maybe, possibly. All I've got to say to that, guys, is come on, priorities. Priorities. You know what comes on a Friday. Get it done. Get it done. Jump on board with the McLaren here. As we're going to see him drop it down into, is it a fourth gear turn for Mihai? It is indeed, very late down into fourth. Gets on the power, little squirt of the battery there, round turn 2. Here we go, pushing it nice and wide out onto that curb. A little kiss of the curb here on the right, there we go. Oh, an invalidation already. Sorry Mihai, can't do you justice mate. I'm going to have to jump to another driver who is on a lap here. It's Northern Nat, 122.4 the time set so far. Needs to make up 3/10. Very low on the battery here as we approach this big triple right-hander. Managed to keep it nice and neat. Very low on the battery here. He's going to have absolutely nothing left for this mad dash to the finish line. Rides that curb on the inside, pushes him out to the left. He's using up everything he's got here, and he takes the top spot, 122 flat for the Racing Bull. Not bad at all. We'll jump past the McLaren, we'll jump onto Kane, who is on an outlap. Is the Ferrari of Dan on a lap? No, he's on an outlap as well, along with Panda. So Kane looks like he'll be the next one to give it a push. Here we go, 123.5, very much in the drop zone here. Must be said that we won't be losing as many drivers as usual, I don't think. 17 on the grid this evening. Wabi, I don't know why you haven't stepped up to the plate, mate. Reserve for these guys. God knows you've got the pace. You've shown it in Tier 3. I think I'm starting to find that most of the races that happen on a Sunday night, it is very much Wabi v Rabi in the mid-pack, and then you just disappear into the future. I'm just hanging on to coattails at the time being. Sure, Lucas will be having an absolute field day. I believe he moved up into Tier 1. I tried to do my best when I joined, see that I give the man a little bit of a battle. Some tracks he just had too much pace. Very quick driver. I believe he jumped up into Tier 1 though, so I hope he's doing well. So we jump on with the boss very wide in that right hander there. Rides the curb on the outside. Again, a lot of correction on the steering here from the boss man, Captain Hindsight, the first for the early retirements. I say that, 2.5 minutes to go. Dan's got to give this everything he's got, and it's going to be an invalid. Oh, I thought it was going to be an invalidation. He's managed to keep it together. Around the last corner, oh, on and off the throttle, very twitchy there. The push to the line, where's it going to put him? 15:23.4. Is Dan having a bit of a mare this evening? Panda 10th. Let's have a look where we are. Welsh Benjamin 11th place on a lap. He'll be the next to cross the line. He's got a Haas breathing down his neck. He's just invalidated. The next Haas will be Captain Nibs, who will be getting a little bit of a toe off him here. Is it going to compromise him in that dirty air though? Captain Nibs takes the top, 121.8. So the first driver this evening to crack the 21s. Not bad at all, 2/10 in it. Let's have a little look here. We've got Grazy, 122.7 time to beat so far for himself. He's in the 8th spot. I think he's pretty much secured himself a position here. I have been wrong in the past. He goes up, provisional P4. He looks like he may be going through it. As we've got Kane absolutely making love to the pit lane wall. I'm not sure what happened there. He was giving that a smooch and no mistake about it. Right, Tenor, now is the time. It is time to nut up or shut up. Let's just jump on board, see who else is approaching the line here. We do have Panda. Panda is going to be coming in. Next up, the Haas of Captain Nibs. He's on his in lap. It looks like Tenor will be the next one as I see him pushing through a queue of traffic there. As it goes, P7, I see that back end a little bit twitchy there. Managed to hold together a little squirt of the battery on that slight up the hill into this big triple right-hander here. Horrible, horrible section here. Doesn't drop it into 6, uses the battery instead. And again, riding 5th gear. We're approaching the line. It's not going to be up in the 21s. A 22.2 for Tenor. We're going to see Phoenix coming across the line. Phoenix up into 12th, just ahead of Benjamin there as the Ferrari is pulling in. And Kane, who I believe is possibly, yeah, he's out of fuel. And I believe that is all she wrote this evening. Cavalis only managing 9th position there in the Alpine, 122.8. And so far, Captain Nibs, the only driver to crack those 21 seconds. 21.8. Obviously, as the track progresses, I'm sure we will start to see more of the drivers cracking into those 21s. How many can't be said for certain. If I was to take a stab in the dark here, what are we expecting? 21.6s at a push, maybe 21.5. I'm not sure. Again, haven't raced this, haven't watched much racing here in Qatar, so your guess is as good as mine. For anybody tuning in, thank you very much for coming along, guys. Very much appreciated. My name's Wee Rabbit. I usually do the co-coms with Curly on a Friday night, but unfortunately this evening he can't attend. He's a little bit preoccupied, so unfortunately you're stuck with me. I'm normally the guy who's in the background doing all the coughing and spluttering and shunting and grunting. Don't get on the mic very, very often, so it's been a long, long time since I did a solo com session. So here we are, the next 15, round 2 of this qualifying session here tonight in Qatar. It looks like it's going to be Northern Nat, the first to leave the pits here on a set of mediums. We'll just jump on board with him. I believe he was the first in the last session as well, obviously wanting to get out early here. for any of you guys that were watching the sprint qualifying this evening. Not what I was expecting, to be honest. Obviously the top three, I was not expecting to see Hamilton out when he went out, but clearly not happy with Ferrari at the meantime, if I'm being honest. I think you've maybe just got one more season out of him, and I think it'll be time to retire. I'm not saying that he can't do it. I mean, we look at the likes of Alonso, he's pretty sure he was racing when the dinosaurs were around, but I'm not going to badmouth the man live on air, but I just don't think he's got it in him the same way that Alonso's got. I think Hamilton's, if he's not winning, there's no point. I think when he moved to Ferrari, he thought there was a part of him that thought he was maybe just going to take off like a stabbed rat and get on with it and take the fight to Verstappen again, try and get that title that he was looking back so clearly robbed of. Obviously, I wasn't watching F1 back then. Pretty evident now what happened. And unfortunately for him, it has been a no-go. Josh has joined the chat. Hello Josh, how you doing, fella? Through into Q2, I see. You better not start making this a habit, boss. Oh, I've got a little boy here. What is it, Paul? No, not Paul. Sorry guys, just excuse me for 2 seconds. There you go, wee man. Right, give us a kiss. Good night, pal, love you. Josh says there, I'm alright, just had one of those weeks. Tell us about it, mate. Hopefully it's nothing too bad. Like I say, please do not be getting in the habit of going through into Q3, buddy, because you surprised us last week. No disrespect intended at all, Josh. I mean it with love. But if you keep pushing the way you're pushing, buddy, you're definitely going to leave the likes of us in the dust. Just working personal issues. Well, mate, you know where I am in the Discord. That goes to anyone. If you want to get some something off your chest, maybe vent a little bit, my door is always open. So, other than that, there are 122.7 the first this evening. Phoenix 23.0 on a set of sauce. So the mediums setting the pace this evening. What is going on? What is going on, boys? There's Bartman around the final corner. Fuel flashing. .121.9 as I thought. Yep, we are slowly going to start seeing more drivers cracking into the 21s. 21.9 so far. Let's jump on board with Mario. He'll be sitting there in that fancy rig that his dad's got nicely set up in the garage. You lucky little... I'm not jealous, mate. I'm not jealous. Not jealous at all. But if Papa Mario is listening, my adoption papers are signed and ready to go, brother. I'll even buy my own wheel. Just give me a spot in the garage and we are laughing. So I think Cavallis is the only one that's on a lap here. Everyone else on an out lap or an in lap. Mihai as well. We'll jump on board with Mihai. I am. Mate, it is ridiculous. If nobody's seen the setup, I'm sure everyone will have. It is a wicked little setup. And do you know what? I'm sorry, I'm going to try and refrain from swearing, obviously. But I absolutely love it. I absolutely love it. I just hope that I can do something similar to that with my boys when they're older. Like, I would love to be able to do that. You imagine sitting on a Friday night. Obviously, I don't know how old Max is, but you're sitting there with a wee bottle of Corona. He's there with his fruit shoot, and you're both just racing up against each other. That would be absolutely epic. As Cavallis has got an invalidation there, so go jump on board with Josh, who again also has an invalidation. Max Mario coming into the pits. Mihai is in an in lap. We'll jump aboard with Captain Nibs. I think that would be absolutely epic. Absolutely brilliant. But yeah, Josh, like I say, and it goes to anybody else in the leagues, obviously I'm a big advocate for mental health and stuff like that, so if anybody's struggling, especially this time of the year, boys, it's getting to Christmas, and we all know that some people get a wee bit down in the dumps, and sometimes it can't be helped. If anybody needs to chat or needs a wee blether, my door's always open. I'm happy to bend an ear and listen to your troubles and advise and help if I can. Again, I'm just your commentator who sits here speaking absolute waffle. Normally it won't be happening very much tonight. I'm the guy that's giving out some hefty amount of slagging, but I haven't been in CDR long enough, I feel, to really take that approach. I don't think Dan is going to love me very much if I start picking on him because he's went out in Q1. Up here at this big triple right-hander again. I imagine here is where we're going to see a lot of penalties getting picked up later on in the feature. Pick it away, I'm on the pad tonight. Oh, there we go, the boss man's in the chat. Kinda somewhat explains the pace of Dan tonight, I think, if he's on the pad. There we go, Captain Nibs 121.7, so 2 drivers so far getting into the 21s. Not much in it at all between the two. Again, Bartmandu's went out, he's done that lap, he's went back, retired to the pits for the time being. And when I say retired, I mean he's just sitting there hugging it nicely. My son's name is Max, he's 5 already, I had him on mine, defo getting a rig. Father's Day, exactly mate, exactly. I honestly, like, don't get me wrong, I'm sure there's guys out there that love going to the pub on a Friday, Saturday night, but I think once you've got kids and it's just a totally different experience. And you imagine, like, the kids are going out and having a drink on a Friday night, and we all did it when we were younger, and they're like, oh, what did you get up to, Max? And you're like, oh, you know, my dad just built me a racing rig, and me and my dad just went racing on Friday night. Like, that's good father and son, father and daughter time as well. By the way, I'm not excluding any girls for here. Obviously, I've streamed many races now with some pretty fast and competitive female drivers. Let's have a look. So a lot of people out on their out laps there. Josh got a red light for fuel, so I'm assuming he will just be coming back in after maybe a failed lap there. Tanner's on his out lap. Then we've got the Mercedes of, let's have a look. It is Panda. Panda is on a lap, although I think he's bailed on it. He's got the ERS set to none. So I think for the meantime I'm going to kick it with the kick. Let's see what Tanner's got here. As he's quickly going to be approaching the final corner to get himself onto his push lap. Dan in the chat, new base coming on Tuesday. Ooh, what have you done? What have you done? Working it too hard, burnt out the motor, no doubt. Should have said, mate, I have a... You're probably going to be right snobby with me right now, but I've got a Logitech sitting there. I've had it since last Christmas. I've never ever used it. I'll tell you, it's been out the box once, just to make sure everything worked. That was it. I'm a pad player for life. Is that for you? What do you mean, is that for you to get on my bus easier? What are you talking about? It's taken me quite a few seasons to realise that on your fastest lap, it doesn't always have to be on hot lap as well. That's something I've only just really started to implement in my own qualifying here, and my own race as well. And again, fuel load. I always used to be one of those guys, minimum fuel, but sometimes I think it makes the car too light. The traction control, well, if you're a TC driver, it just kicks in a little bit too much. As we see there, 10 up to 795, 21,795 goes the Sauber driver. Yeah, like I say, I found sometimes with the lighter fuel in the car, the back end, obviously I'm a TC user, it kicks in that a little bit too much, and I found that if I've got perhaps a lap or two more fuel in the car, TC doesn't kick in as much. I get better drive out of corners. And again, just personal experience here, boys and girls. So Curly's having to take the night off, mate. He's similar to us all. He's only human. He's got some issues he's got to deal with just now. So I'm sure he will be back next week. I'm sure he will be back. So Grazy here, leaving it very, very late in the qualifying to put a lap in. Hasn't got a time on the board yet. This will be his banker one and done, I believe. 2 minutes 45 seconds on the clock. I don't think he's going to have enough time to get round, do a cool down lap, get a new set on and get himself away again. Again, 6% on that ERS, very, very low. Mad push to the finish line. Where's it going to put him? 121.9. So there we go. 4 drivers cracking the 21s this evening. And not much in it between the Ferrari and the Red Bull. Bartmandu, he's done his lap. He's just sitting there hiding away. We do see he's got a fresh set of softs on. Perhaps leaving it to the last minute here. Ali, Max, Mario, very, very low on the fuel. I imagine he'll be coming in. Panda coming in. Captain Hindsight, very, very low on the fuel. He'll be coming in. We'll jump on board with Josh. Josh going onto his hot lap now. Definitely down in the danger zone here. Somebody call Kenny Loggins. He's going to have to pull a fast one here. Doesn't manage to get the car into top gear there. Screaming the neck of it in 7th. Round turn 1. Nice and neat. Is he going to drop it down into 4th? He doesn't. He decides to hit the battery. Get himself a little bit of a push out of turn 2 and 3. Again, a little squirt of the battery there. Benjamin opting to go on the hot lap mode here. He wants as much as he can get out of this car here. 123.1 is his benchmark. We'll keep an eye on the deltas. The fast right-hander, very, very easy to clip that curb, lose the back end. This corner here, absolutely horrible. Nice tight, out wide, there we go. And then the big triple right once again. He's set a purple sector 2 here. Again, it'll be for his own time. He decides to ride 7th gear there. I think personally I would have dropped it down into 6 as Captain Nibs, 121.5. Come on, Benji, mad push to the line. What's he got? 7th place, 22.3 this evening. As Mihai brings it across the line, up into P6 in Q2, a 22 flat, just on the brink, just on the cusp of getting into the 21s. Phoenix, next one up. Captain Nib says, love this track, man. Well, I would say in the previous games, 100%. In this game, I've only done a couple of laps here, and either my setup is shocking, or I am absolutely washed. I used to love it, thought I was quite competitive here. This season, I don't see it happening. I'll be lucky if I scrape a top 10. Gets the wing open. P11 for Phoenix. Ali just before I jump on with him, a 121.9. 4/10 off the pace of Captain Nibs. He's really, really setting the benchmark here this evening, the Haas driver. We really need to try and do something with these Hasses. They are running away with it. I think that is everyone out. Yep, I think that is it done for this evening. I was having a look there. I'm thinking Cavalis a 22-3. There's not much in it between himself and Benjamin there. Cavalis, don't normally see him down there. Again, he could be having a bit of a nightmare again with Qatar. But a name that we normally like to see at the top, normally cracking into the top 5. Josh, unfortunately, out here in Q2. Joined by Panda, Max, Mario, Phoenix and Nerf Pack. One Haas eliminated. Just another one to go. Let's have a little look. I'm really glad you guys could join in, tune in, watch us here on a Friday night. I'm sure you would all much rather... Actually, you know what? Is she away? Yeah. You're probably sitting with your other halves. And you know what? I know what I'd rather be doing. Hence why I'm here. So there we go. Going through to Q3. Captain Ned's leading the charge. 121.5. Tenor, Ali, Grazy, Bartmandu, Northern Nat, Mihai, Mona Papaya. Captain Hindsight, Welsh Benjamin and Cavalis. Cavalis very, very close to the danger zone there. Nerf Pack, Phoenix, Max, Mario, Panda and Josh unfortunately out here in Q2 this evening. As Josh says, they are not good at all from me. Mate, you forget what you're up against. You forget what you're up against. And do you know what? The more I watch these races, the more I do not envy Dan at all. And whoever else helps him with the decisions in this. He said countless times in previous streams and post-race interviews that balancing these tiers can be quite difficult. And I can see what he means. I can see what he means. Some of the guys that have came down from Tier 1 and Tier 2 that have came into Tier 3, I won't lie. Okay, I was very full of myself. Last 2 races in the previous season, I think I did quite well. Gave Lucas a little bit of a battle, and I thought, you know, once he's out, I've got it. Absolutely no chance. The guys that have been moving around, Wabi as well, Housey. Recently, these guys have been... There's no getting away from it. Wabi's been absolutely smoking the bones clean off me. Nothing I can do to catch him. Absolutely nothing. I'm going to have to start thinking about switching to a PC and trying to get a grip hack to try and keep up with these guys. Some of these guys are silly quick, and I can see what you mean about the blend between, you know, the guys that are leading the charge in Tier 3 quite comfortably going to Tier 2. And I'm sure it's the exact same here with the Tier 2 drivers. A lot of them probably could jump up into Tier 1. What I need Dan to do is consider a Tier 4 and then just put me against the AI at like level 70. Maybe then I'll win a championship. Maybe. Again, Captain Nibs, the first one out this evening. Everyone opting for the softs. We did see Nibs set a lap previously on a set of mediums, and I believe he cracked the 21s on a set of mediums. So here we go, the push. These Hassies are doing the damage this season so far, running away with the points. Very, very close on that white line there. Takes a very, very wide approach to these corners, Nibs does. losing a little bit of traction there. Almost hear the car wheel spinning slightly before the TC kicked in. I believe he's a TC user. If he's not, I stand corrected, Nibs. It was perhaps just a hookup. It sounded like a little slip, then a hookup. Down into fourth gear. In tight, out wide. Here he goes. Little burst of the battery, getting him up the hill. Round the big triple right-hander. Here we go. Out wide, then back in tight again. Right out wide on that white line. Is he going to drop it down to sixth gear here? He does indeed. Very, very wide on the exit. Around the final corner. The mad dash to the line. What's he got? It's going to be a 21 again. A 121.5 for Captain Nibs. Captain Hindsight 122.27 tenths off the pace. Round the final corner goes Tenor. Tenor, little squirt of the battery over the line. Where does it put him? A 121.9. The Ferrari of Grey's E, 22 flat. Bartmandu, 21.7, 2 tenths off the pace here. For anyone that's an anorak and they go, oh, well, actually, it's 1 point blah, 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 away. I see 5, I see 7, I see 2 tenths. Benjamin, 22.6. So quite a bit for Benjamin to do here this evening. We'll jump on board with Cavolis. Hasn't set a lap. Appears to be the only one on his hot lap. There's Wabi in the chat. Everyone has got too fast, mate. Iron sharpens iron in here, mate. You race such fast behold makes you level up over the season for sure. Oh, 100%, man. I used to be one of those guys, I'm pretty sure we all were at one point, that you get yourself into a comfort zone when you're fighting kind of towards the front. And no disrespect to him, Lucas, for example, in the last season seemed to be running away with it. When I joined, when I even started doing the commentary, he was absolutely flying. You know, how much can you really learn leading a race? And I used to shy away from racing people like yourself, Housey, obviously Ian, that we've seen in Tier 3 as well. But the only way you get quicker is to race these guys, watch what they do and learn from them. Cavolis 22 flat as well, joining Grey's E there. 5th place for the Alpine driver. Benjamin is coming in. So, no other than that, he's on his outlap. We'll jump on board with the Racing Bull. Absolutely quiet, get that off. I will apologise, guys. This is the view that I normally tend to run. I know that Curly tends to run the wider angle, but this, I like hearing the engine noise. I like hearing the gear shifts. The simulated noise that you get outside, it's not for me. I like to hear it when we've got very aggressive drivers who are flying into really fast corners that just tighten right up and you hear them smashing it down the gearbox. Show it no mechanical sympathy at all. Very, very wide on the approach here into turn 1. Hugs the curb, pushes him out to the opposite curb there. Riding it like a train here. Captain Nibs there. I don't use TC, bud. Yeah, mate, sorry. It was one of the corners. It sounded like a little bit of wheel spin. I thought the TC had kicked in. Obviously it wasn't. It was obviously just the tyres hooking up. But 121.5, no TC in Qatar. I imagine tyre deck here will be high. Obviously it's a hot track. It'll be interesting to see what strategy Captain Nibs goes for. But so far, Bartmandu the closest within touching distance of Captain Nibs' time here. 2 tenths, literally just one bad corner can make all the difference here. I can't repeat that, but yeah, tyre deck is horrendous, let's say. Just glad I get to watch you guys tonight. See what the strategies are going to be like. There we go, as he's out at battery across the line. Still manages to get a 21.7. Imagine I think even with a little bit more battery in the car, he might have jumped. He would have jumped Bartmandu. 100% he would have jumped Bartmandu. But I don't think there was 2/10 a battery in that. Absolutely not. But again, one corner could make all the difference. One corner, one slight little slip on traction could make all the difference here. I was pretty close on my guess. I did say around about 121.5, 121.6. I was hoping I was going to see more drivers just within touch of it. And again, Bark and Northern Nat, not a million miles away from it. So we'll jump on board with Grazy, who's just about to start his hot lap. Again, taking that very, very wide approach into turn 1. Down into 4th gear. That's the noise I'm talking about. Smashing the gearbox. Traction control taking over a little bit there for Grazy. And again through turn 2. That's it. He's abandoned it. He's abandoned that lap. Get that ERS on none. Check what the fuel level is at like, mate. You've still got 3 minutes. You can still put in a time here. Check the McLaren out. It is on and out lap. Captain Hindsight was very, very wide. That'll be this lap scrubbed off. And then Northern Nat on an invalidation, he'll be just shooting himself round, trying to get himself back into the pits. Captain Nibs decides he's going around again. 21.5, not much to prove here. If he can crack that and get it down to a 21.4, 21.3, a high 21.3, I will personally send him 50 pence in the mail. Let's see who else we've got here. We do have Mihai, who's just started his lap very, very low on the battery here. He obviously feels that's all he's got. There's not enough time to get in, around. I don't think it's going to be enough, mate. I think he's going to run out of battery, and what he doesn't run out of, I think he's going to, where he tries to harvest, I don't think it's going to be enough. Crazy going round, perhaps just try to charge that battery for one final push. We do have the Aston Martin of Benjamin as well on an out lap. We'll jump on board with Mihai, see what he's got. I think he's going to run out of battery here, depending on what he's like. Yep, he is giving a little squirt of the overtake here. Quickly approaching the Aston Martin. The Aston Martin gets out the way. He's absolutely hammering it. Save yourself something for the start finish straight. Here he goes, round the final corner. He uses it, launches himself out of the corner. What's he got? 5th place, 22 flat for Mihai there. Ali, the only driver not to set a time. Go captain. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. I am not biased at all, but those Hassies can get themselves in the ocean. Get yourself in the sea. Again, Ali leaving it very, very late here this evening. Hasn't put in a banker. It's going to be a one and done. A very, very brave move. Clearly a very, very confident driver in his ability. Around the triple right-hander again. Oh my god, I need to send him 50 pence. Oh my god. I forgot Wabi is a Haas driver as well. As Bartmandu sets a 121.2. Nibs, I revoke that 50 pence transaction, and Bartmandu, you get £1. Well done. 121.2. I wasn't expecting to see a time that low in the 21s. I thought around a 21.5. I thought maybe a 21.4, and then with Nibs pushing, I thought a 21.3 might be doable here this evening. But Batman do 121.2. Mihai will be done. As Captain Nibs shows a little bit of appreciation there to Bartman, gives a little bit of a... Oh, he goes off. That'll be an invalidation for Kavolis. That's got to be him. Captain Hindsight is also off. Nibs is done. I believe that's everyone. It is indeed. A 121.2. I was not expecting that in the slightest. Not at all. Genuinely was looking like Captain Nibs was going to lead the charge here. It looked like he was going to take pole, but the Red Bull, Bartman do one final push, one final lap, and he's managed to get himself on pole position this tonight. Captain Nibs does have some furniture he's got to try and avoid down into turn one if he's going to make a move there. Captain Nibs in the chat, what a lap from Bartman. Very well done. Absolutely, mate. Absolutely. So there we go, guys. That is what it's going to look like as we set off here for the feature race. Bartman takes pole. Looked like Captain Nibs was going to keep it. Not much in it at all, but he's going to have to settle for second here. Northern Nat in third. Ali with that final push at the very end takes fourth place. Tenor in fifth. Mihai in sixth. Grazy in seventh. Kavolis, eighth is the best he can do this evening. Welsh Benjamin in ninth. And Captain Hindsight rounds out your top 10 in the Sauber. I believe we'll be having a little bit of a break. I'm not sure. Let me just double check. You guys know the script. We're normally a little 5-minute break or whatever. If not, don't worry. I won't be going far. I'm going to try and keep it better than last week anyway, where we both disappeared and then very last minute we turned up when you guys were already on the outlap. Nothing being posted about the break, guys, so I am going to shoot away very, very quickly to go to the wee boys' room. I'll be back in 2 ticks. Oh, there we go, we are back. Glad to see you didn't set off without me, boys. Thank you very much, I appreciate it. As I say that, bloody hell, couldn't have timed that any better if I tried. So if you're just tuning in, guys, welcome to CDR. We are heading off for the feature race now in Qatar. You can see there we are on the formation lap. And if you've just tuned in, you have missed an absolute scorcher of a lap from Bartmandu. Absolutely flying. I'm due the man a pound. He will get it paid directly to him. Absolutely 100%. Just send me the deets, bud. Send me the details. Let's have a look at the tyres. So, wow, I'm seeing a little bit more red on the screen than I was thinking I was going to. Captain Nibs, Northern Nat, and Captain Hindsight deciding to go for the softs here. Wow. A lot of medium and hard runners as well. So, starting at the back, 17th position is Kane. Unable to do much here this evening. Was giving that wall a big old smooch there as we saw him coming across the line. The boss man, Dan, making excuses already, saying it's because he's on the pad. Absolutely not, he's just washed. Nah, I'm only joking, brother. Hopefully we can see the Ferrari making up some positions here as we get going. Josh sitting in 15th in the William. Panda, a familiar face for us all, he'll be setting off from 14th position. Joining him just in front, Max Mario in the Alpine, setting off on those mediums. In 12th position is Phoenix, the first of the Aston Martins this evening. Nerf Pack, unable to get through into Q3. He'll be setting off from 11th position in the Haas, hoping to do some damage and take those points even higher to the top. Captain Hindsight, he did make it through. He'll be starting from 10th. Welsh Benjamin in 9th. Cavalis in 8th. Grazy in 7th. Mihai, Munda Papaya, my man. Let's go. Let's see what we've got. Show these boys what we're made of. He'll be starting from 6th position, warming up those tyres nicely. Tenor in 5th. Ali with a flying lap at the end, secured himself P4. Northern Nat P3. Captain Nibs, like I said earlier on, he's got a little bit of furniture now. He's got a car he needs to get past. Bartmandu on pole position. Nibs, unfortunately, 2nd place. And we're just waiting for those 5 red lights, ladies and gentlemen. Here we go. There's 1, there's 2, there's 3, 4. And away we go. Real decent launch there from Bark and Nibs there as we head on down into turn 1. Absolutely lovely to see. No contact, no mess. There we go. We are seeing Northern Nat and Tenor ban a little bit there. Tenor on the inside, he's going to hold him on the out. Oh, very, very close here. Little bit of contact. Oh, and I think Northern Nat maybe just got tied up a little bit of a knock. It sent, was it a silver there, I'm sure, into a spin. Ali as well at the back there. He's taking a little bit of a tumble. We'll work our way through this pack here. I was going to say, generally speaking, a clean start here. Some drivers, a little bit of contact, a little bit of banging. Work our way at the top. Bartmandu still managing to fend off Nibs on those soft compounds. And they have created a slight gap here in this opener to Tenor, 1.1 seconds. Again, Northern Nat and Tenor side by side. Little bit of wheel banging, wasn't much in it at all from what we could see. I think Northern Nat perhaps just tried to back out a little there, let the silver driver through, and there was a little bit of chaos that came up behind him. So we head on down the start, finish straight for the first time here. 1 lap completed here in Qatar. Is Dan right at the back here, 17th position. And Captain Nibs and Bartmandu leading the charge here. Tenor getting that gap down very, very slightly. They are pulling away from Northern Nat here. Hopefully, through the more technical sections of this track, he can try and pull it back on those sauce, get himself a little bit close to the medium runners. But these 3 here, Nibs will be trying to dispatch Bartman as quickly as he can, I'm sure. Try and put those softs to use. Don't waste the rubber just looking at the back of that car. Do your best And again, Northern Knight still got them in eyesight. 1.5 second gap here. Right behind them though, the Ferrari of Grey Z. Would be expecting to see those soft runners pulling some decent gaps through these technical sections. These fast flowing bends. You think the soft runners will be able to push a little bit more power through the car, that extra grip to try and project it, get a little bits of gaps here against these mediums. But we are about to see Grey Z having a look on the inside. Nice and neat here. We have seen a little switch at the top. Bartmandu dropped down to second as Dan has retired from the session, unfortunately. I'll have a little look here. Who else is close? We've got Benjamin on the back of this train. 2.7 gap now to his teammate. Ben, a really good driver, very, very conscious driver, always aware of what's around him. Doesn't do a lot of complaining, this driver. He's one of the quiet men of the sport, I think you could say. He just gets his head down, tries to get on with the job. But there's no getting away from it. Some of the guys that are in front of him, I think you would agree, very, very quick drivers. Can make his life very, very difficult here this evening. Corvallis up into 7th place. Just hanging on to the back of that McLaren, Mihai in 6. All get the benefit of the DRS here as Captain Nib sets the fastest lap this evening. Oh, and say that, 25 flat there goes Grey Z. Obviously these drivers will be getting the effects of the slipstreams, the DRS as well. Grey Z, the time coming down very, very slightly. As I say that, just in one corner he's almost dropped 3/10. Or gained 3/10 should I say. Again, Northern Nat, 3 laps with those softs, they're not going to last forever. I'll be very, very surprised if we see any drivers taking them past, what, 5 to 6 laps if we're really, really lucky here. I can't see it. But again, I don't know what these guys are like on their tyres. Obviously, TC drivers will suffer slightly more than non-TC drivers, which would be looking good for Nibs here. He can maybe take them a little bit longer than others. And depending, I'm not sure if Bartmandu, is he a TC player? Because what will hinder the softs will also hinder the mediums. Doesn't appear it. I will try and keep the telemetry off, guys, just in case we've got any stream snipers here. Excuse me. Just so we're not being a little bit biased to what's going on at the front here, we'll give some guys at the back a little bit of airtime. Not all the battles are at the front. I will keep an eye on those deltas for you. Panda in 12. Let's have a look at our biggest winners and losers so far. So Ali down 10 positions. Started from 4th. Kane already with the penalty. I think we will be seeing a lot more of them this evening. This track, especially again that triple right-hander, so easy to push yourself off track. But Ali down 10 positions here. Captain Hindsight down 3. The biggest winner so far is actually going to Max Mario in the Alpine. He's managed to make up 4 positions here in these first 5 laps of Qatar. Not bad at all, although he does find himself 3.7 seconds off the back of the Aston Martin of Welsh Benjamin. A lot of clean air in front of him. He won't be getting any troubles with downforce. As I say that, Ali picks up a 3-second penalty. We are seeing a slight switch at the top. There we go. I've actually said it again on stream. I was going to say 5 to 6 laps. Captain Nids decides that's it. He's had enough. He's used up those softs as best he can. What we're going to see a yellow band here. He decides to go for the mediums. Wabby was saying earlier in the chat, I believe it was a soft hard soft or was it a soft medium soft, I'm not sure, he was expecting to see most drivers go for. Or the guys that started on the soft, should I say. Personally, I think a medium hard will work here. Or if you're absolutely washed, a medium hard medium. But now Bartman do 5 laps on those medium tyres. Nothing in front of him to worry about. He can just get his head down, try and focus on creating a gap between himself and 10 or 7 tenths as it stands. Try and push himself that a little bit further, get himself out of the DRS. The DRS here in Qatar, very, very powerful down that straight. It is not like it's not a short straight. You can make up a good amount of time there. Just through the triple right-hander there, keeping an eye on that Delta 10er in the Sauber. He's not going to break away this time, but the Ferrari still just outside touching distance, 4 tenths to gap now. Get himself back in that DRS. Mihai will have the benefit of it here. He's got himself within a second. As the wing opens, there we go. Kavalis will be joining him along with Benjamin. As Tenor takes the lead on the inside of Bartmandu here. Round into turn 2, we do see the light of Tenor there flashing away, trying to harvest what he can when he can. I thought Mihai would have tried to dispatch a Grazy there on that start finish. He hasn't done so. Ooh, a little bit oversteer. Managed to keep it together. Kavalis doesn't capitalise on it. Could only imagine what it would feel like going through these sections of the track with the dirty air in front of you. Bartmandu and Tenor will be loving it right now as we do see Grazy going slightly off track there up the top. So we do have a mix here. That'll change up there between Phoenix and Panda. Let's have a look, see what we've got. So Benjamin's still here on the back of this little train. Grazy still unable to do anything, unable to answer the call. 1.3 second gap. It is coming down to 1.29. He will be absolutely hammering that battery, trying to get on the back of these cars here. And I feel perhaps maybe running slightly lower wings than the guys at the front, because on that straight he's able to get that time down to like 1.2, 1.1 seconds as we do see Phoenix retiring in the pits. But as soon as it comes to the more technical sides of the track, again, these very fast flowing corners, the time does increase again to 1.4, 1.5 seconds. Unfortunate to see Phoenix pitting and quitting there. It all rests on Welsh Benjamin now to do what he can, bring in some points for the Aston Martins. Nice little train here. I don't get the impression that anyone really pushing too hard just now. It's nice to see a little mix here. I'm wondering what is the faster choice round that quick left-hander. Is it faster to hold on to 7th, use a little bit of the battery, give yourself a little bit of drive out of the corner? Or is it simply easier just to drop it into 6, keep the car revving high, use the power that you've got, but at the same time use the gearbox and just the tyres just to scrub off the speed, as Phoenix has unfortunately left the session now. As well, anyways, joined the chat. Evening boss, how are we doing? I pray to the Lords above you've got me a setup for Sunday night, boss. You join us this evening. It's myself solo on commentary. Curly is otherwise occupied this evening, unfortunately. Now Captain Nibs, who put in some scorching time qualifying times, finds himself down in P12 again. He has pitted. started on the softs, decided to go to the mediums, still down in P12. If you could, mate, that would be very, very much appreciated. Again, I do have one, but if the GOAT could maybe lend a hand, it would be very much appreciated. I'll get on tomorrow and give it a little bash. Captain Hindsight still on those soft compounds. Those things have got to be absolutely screaming. I think he's heard the stream. He's just there to prove a point. 3-second penalty for Kane. I believe that is the second this evening for Kane. It is indeed 6 seconds. Ali joins him with 3 seconds as well. Welsh Bench still not made a move. Cavolis has moved up. Now try to hunt down the Ferrari here. Again, like I said in qualifying, Cavolis, normally a name I like to see cracking the top 5. Very, very confident, very, very quick driver when he needs to be. One of those drivers is happy, I get the impression, sorry, very happy to sit behind and watch things unfold in front of him. And Tenor just pulling a little bit of a gap here to Bartmandu. 1.2 second gap now. Both opted for those mediums at the start. I think it's going to be a question of who blinks first. Grazy again unable to answer the call here. 1.3 second gap when we're in these most technical, fast flowing corners. But come the start finish straight, he manages to get that time down. I don't know if he's maybe harvesting a lot more battery and then just deploying it all. But so far it hasn't been doing him any favours. He's unable to make up the time where it probably matters most. As we'll probably get a good look at it now. 1.3 down to 1.2, down to 1.1. He'll get himself within a second. There it is. Which would be absolutely ideal if he can maintain that gap to Bartmandu, get himself round this lap, and then reap the benefits of the DRS. But again, there it goes. Breaks again into second place. As Josh has decided 10 laps on the hards is enough. Northern Nat 5 laps on those hard compounds. Cap Nibs now up into P8. What have we missed here? Oh, there we go. Captain Hindsight on the outside of Nerf Pat there. Again, those soft compound tyres, he's decided to go in, he's switched onto this fresh set of softs. We have seen Captain Nibs, he did 5 laps on those soft compounds, so mate, it's time to nut up or shut up, make the moves while you can. I'm assuming these guys here, the guys that have ran the softs, obviously Captain Nibs is kind of throwing me off here a little bit. I would have thought maybe like a soft hard soft or a soft hard. I don't know, I feel that the hard is Grazy. Picks up a 10-second penalty for speeding in the pit lane. You sausage. The board doesn't move, mate. You've managed it in qualifying, the board doesn't move. As I say that, he goes onto a hard compound. So Welsh Benjamin now up to 4th place, Cavolis up into P3, and Bartmandu still unable to get onto the back of Tenor here. 1.4 second gap. It is increasing very, very slightly. The pace of the Sauber driver in the later stages of these tyres' lives, obviously able to push them a little bit harder in this latter stage of the tyre's lifespan. .6 second gap. Cavolis 3 seconds to make up here. Only 2 drivers really close this evening right now as it stands. Max Mario up against Nerf Pack. Max Mario 3 lap old hards against 2 lap. There's not much in it at all. I think we're slowly going to see Captain Hindsight just disappear in the distance a little bit here. As Tenor decides that's it, he's had enough. Bartmandu also, like I said, who blinks first? Cavolis goes in to join them. Is Benjamin. Benjamin decides to stay out and take the lead here. As Gracie picks up another penalty, 3 seconds this time. I don't know if Benjamin, you know, I joked around earlier saying he's a bit of a tyre whisperer. Not sure that would have been the call. Haven't seen the other 3 going in front of me. I think I would have joined them, to be totally honest. Here we go. Well, we see Max Mario. He's got the DRS. Unable to do anything there. Oh, I've missed it. Bartmandu on the exit. Yeah, you're probably right there, boss. Again, Benjamin, not a driver that seems to suffer with exploding tyres in other races. He will push those mediums as long as he can, get himself on the hards and see them to the end. 13 laps we've done here in Qatar, and a few tyre choices so far. Not sure what happened with Bartman. Let's have a look. He got any damage? He doesn't. Kane, 3-second penalty right at the back. Not sure what he's banging into. His own shadow by the looks of it. There we go. Benjamin decides enough's enough. He's coming in. And Captain Nibs again will take the lead of this race. He finds himself Bartmandu down in 9th position. Obviously Captain Nibs will have to go again. He won't be able to see that one out to the end as Captain Highsight's made up some good positions here. Now hunting down the back of the Alpine driver. Cavalis is pitted. Puts himself on the hard compound. Those softs will not be completely dead, but they are not going to be at their best right here. And Captain Highsight making it look nice and easy so far. 4-lap-old softs. We saw Nibs pitting on what I believe was 5 or 6-lap-old softs. Let's have a little look. As Bartmandu quickly approaching the back of the Haas driver. Benjamin not far off the back either. Oh, as I say that, Benjamin a little bit loose on the rear end there. I still think you guys that run no T's here are absolutely insane, and more so the guys that have that manage it somehow on a pad. I think that is absolutely incredible. God, he's burning a lot of battery here trying to get on the back of that Alpine to get the DRS on the start finish. Has he got it? He has. Excellent. Superb. Now Gracie. Have a look. Tenor there, blinking light, trying to harvest what he can. Gracie on a push. Very, very wide approach. There we go. Captain Nibs, a little bit of breathing room now. 9-lap-old mediums up against Northern. That's 9-lap-old hards. Will those hards do another 14 laps? I doubt it. I believe both at the front are going to have to pit again. I believe it was Nibs earlier in the chat said that the tyre deg on this track is absolutely horrendous. As we head on through the triple right-hander here. Gracie, the car slowing down very, very slightly there under corner. Not sure, perhaps drop it down into 6 and try and hold the higher RPM. As well, anyway, says it's not that bad, to be fair. Not for legends like you. As Josh picks up a 3-second penalty. Oh, I thought he was going to have a look on the outside there. Unable to do anything in terms of a switchback. I think he's just happy to hold on to this here. Work our way down the order. We've still got Benjamin. Bartmandu up against Nurpak. You're always going to be the GOAT in my eyes, brother. Always. Always. I put you up against any man. I would never, ever, ever bet against the Polishman. Never. It's very interesting here, sitting with Bartmandu. Bartmandu putting a blimmin' scorcher of a qualifying time. Unable to do anything here with Nurpak. I think he's just going to wait until the start finish straight. Keeping a little bit of a gap, trying to stay out the dirty as best he can. Don't be riding right up the gearbox of him. It will throw that front end out. But he's got a lot of places to make up. Obviously, Northern Nat, King Nibs, Captain Nibs, sorry, they're all going to pit again. Has Bartmandu left it long enough to take these hards to the end? Welsh Benjamin feels he has. I believe he will be going for a one-stop. So we are seeing the blinking tail light of the Haas and the Red Bull. Both trying to harvest as and when they can. Come on, Benjamin. Pull your finger out or pull the pin. One of the two. Let's go. Nae messing about, son. Push it, push it, push it. I think these are the closest on the track, other than Grazy trying to hunt down 10 of their 7/10 gap there between 4th and 3rd. Obviously, Grazy with the penalty. Speaking of penalties, have a look. So Grazy did get a 10-second penalty for speeding in the pit lane, so 13 seconds for Grazy, 6 for Ali. Josh is sitting pretty on 3, and Kane at the rear there with a 12-second penalty. So far, everyone doing the one-stop. Again, soft runners and medium runners will have to pit again. As we say that, Cap Nibs decides now's the time. He's away into the pits. Bartmandu getting the power down. Kane picks up another 3 seconds here. Using the battery, the wing is open. Is it going to be a launch on the inside into turn 1? There we go, nice and easy. Through goes Bartmandu. Plenty time to get that car slowed down under control. Now on the hunt of Captain Hindsight. Again, Captain Hindsight on 8-lap-old softs. Those things will be toast. Absolutely done. Grazy with another 3-second penalty here. Obviously pushing the track limits, trying to do what he can to stick with the Sauber driver here. Northern Nat leading the charge, 5.6 second gap should I say. I feel he will have to go again. This is a very, very good vantage point for Tennant. It's looking very, very good for the Sauber driver. Jump back down here. So Bartmandu finally, as we saw at the end of the last lap, did make the move. Now Benjamin just got to try and do the same. And he's almost within a second. He is now within a second of Captain Hindsight. Has he done enough to get the DRS? As Captain Hindsight dives away into the pits. He doesn't. Not this time round. Nerf doesn't either. But Benjamin does. Unable to do anything with it here. Perhaps running slightly higher wings than the rest. Again, this track would be, it is horrible for setup. I can imagine how frustrating it can be if you're one of the guys that builds your own setups. Do you opt for a lower wing to try and reap the benefits of the start finish straight, or do you opt to take higher wings and try and make up the positions like Benjamin's looking to do here and these more technical side of the track? It can be very, very difficult to overtake in this track, I feel. You're kind of praying that the car in front makes the mistakes, goes out wide, and you can just capitalise. Bartmandu just creating the gap now, 1.5 second gap now to Northpack, 3 seconds to Kavolis. But I've got to say, there we go, Northern Nat at the top there, he has decided to pit, so now again Tenor is going to lead the charge here. Grazy does have the DRS, he's burning the battery, looks up the inside, he's got plenty of time before the pit boards. There we go, nice and easy down into turn 1, rides the curb. Tenor's got a nice view of that Ferrari now. He's got a lap younger tyres, but he will see that Grazy's got that penalty again. I always like to say, don't rely on the penalties, even if it's something as silly as 3 seconds. You need to race to the finish line, push each other to the bitter end, because you don't know if it's going to go into a steward's decision and that 3 second penalty is going to get removed. Many times as Kane picks up another 3 second penalty. I think Kane, you can argue that in the stewards all you want, mate. I think even if we took, I was going to say, if we took 10 seconds off you, you're still sitting with 8 seconds worth of penalties. But 18 in total, 9 for Ali, Josh still on 3, and Grazy now with 16. Biggest winners and losers this evening. So Grazy up 6 positions here, now leading the charge at Qatar. Northpack joins him with 6, Max Mario as well with 6, and the biggest losers unfortunately is Captain Nibs and Mihai right now. Mihai obviously opting for the soft compound tyre on his setting pit change, and now he's onto the hards. He will see those hards through to the end. 9 laps to go here in Qatar. I'm going to keep staying there with Tanner just now. Is he opting to harvest instead of use the battery? Yes indeed. Jump on back down now. So Welsh Benjamin, he's got the DRS on Nerf. You see from the steering wheel, not using a lot of battery. Is he going to make a move at the very end? Here he is. Oh, he thought about it. I think he should have held that line a little bit on the inside. It looked like he braked to try and get in behind Nerfpack again. Nerf perhaps struggling a little bit here. Doesn't look as comfortable as Benjamin. Car moving around a little bit more than Benjamin's is. Again, Benjamin on those much younger tyres. I assume Nerf will be trying to take those to the end. 11 lap hole, still 8 laps to go after this. Bartmandu chipping away at the time of Kavolis, 4/10 from the last time we checked. It was sitting at 3 seconds, now it's down to 6/10, so he's managed to get down to 2.4 seconds. Kavolis both on the same aged tyres, 8 laps pretty much. Grazy with the oldest here, 9 laps against the younger 8s. Not much in it at all. I'm going to work my way down the order, see what other battles we've got going on. The gaps seem to be a bit all over the place here. Captain Nibs trying to hunt down Max Mario. He's went for the mediums again, going to take these to the end. I don't want to speak too ill for Captain Nibs here, but I think tyre strategy has let him down here. He opted for the softs at the start, and I think he's just going to be a little bit too far back. Perhaps Nerfpack's going to go in, but he's going to have to show some serious pace here at this latter stage of the race if he wants to even get himself on a podium. We are seeing some changes in positions here again due to the pit stops. But between Benjamin and Nerfpack and Grazy and Tenor, this is where the action's happening. I'm really sorry guys, I'm spending a lot of time looking at this Aston Martin. Benjamin, not normally one that I would say, without sounding disrespectful, to be very much of a risk taker. He'll tend to look for the gaps where they are, and if he can make it clean, he will. What I would like to see, and I hope this isn't frowned upon, stick a nose in. Let him see that you're there, let him see that you want past. If he doesn't give you an opening, make one. Stick the nose in, create the space. I've tried it many times myself. Sometimes I create the space by sending cars into the stratosphere, I send them into oblivion, and I normally reap the rewards in forms of penalties after it. Come on Benjamin, now is the time to shine. He opts to go to the outside, going the long way round. He gets the traction through he goes. Nice move there from Welsh Benjamin, moves him up into 5th place. Captain Nibs follows him through. I think Nurpak just getting out of the way of Nibs there. Bartmandu still chopping away at the times here. Cavolis 2 seconds now. Cavolis 6.6 off the bat of Tenor, and Tenor still just sitting pretty behind Greasy. I wonder if we're going to see this to the very, very end of the race. Again, I would like to think that he would try and push him, take the position on track, because you don't know what's going to happen in the steward's office. He might get the some of these penalties removed. I can't see him getting a full 16 seconds, but you never know. Again, he did have a 10-second penalty for going into the pits too quick. No one to blame but yourself for that one, brother. Let's keep an eye on Captain Nibs here, hunting down the Welsh Dragon. Benjamin, I believe he was one of the longest to go on the mediums. Looking to go for the one-stop, now sitting with the youngest hards at the front. As Captain Nibs moves on through up into 5th position. I think Benjamin just not wanting to fight it too much, but the looks of the steering wheel, he doesn't really have the battery right now to try and fight it. And again, 6-lap-old mediums against 11-lap-old hards will be in a much better place. With that being said, there he's still got a 1.1 second gap over Northern Nat. Gracie, another 3-second penalty. He's got the clean air. His tyres will still be in a state of, you know, they're not going to be terrible, they'll be okay. Again, a little bit of a lock-up. Is this what's costing him here? Is he trying too hard, putting too much through those hards to try and get away from Tenor? Welsh Benjamin, oh mate, 3-second penalty for the Dragon. Really, really unfortunate. He was looking like he was having a really, really good time here. Let's just double check these positions. Crazy up 6, Tenor up 3, Cavolis up 5. Ali still down 9 positions. As we say that, Gracie goes off wide and Tenor goes through to take the lead once again. Lap 25 of 29 this evening. Now he's just got to try and create that gap. There it is, 1 second gap now. Keep Gracie out of the DRS. I've got a funny feeling Gracie's possibly running slightly lower wings than Tenor here, and he will reap the rewards of the DRS of the start-finish straight. We've seen it in the previous laps. Normally sitting around a 1.4 second gap in this technical section of the track, but come the start-finish straight, he was managing to just punch through it all and close that gap quite significantly. But Tenor has answered the call. 2.3 seconds. Gracie, I feel those tyres are absolutely cooked. They've got to be. The gap that Tenor has made just in this one lap alone is absolutely unbelievable. And Bartmandu almost within touching distance of the DRS on Cavolis. He can smell a podium. It smells like crusty baguettes. He's just got to get them out the way. Captain Nibs not a million miles off, and again Northern Nat right on the back of Captain Nibs here. Benjamin has dropped off very, very slightly. He's got a little bit of breathing space behind him. Nurpak 3.3 seconds behind Welsh Benjamin. Benjamin just got to try and push to keep that 3-second gap to secure himself P7 here tonight. Big gaps all up and down the bottom half of the track here. Two main battles were Welsh Benjamin, Captain Nibs, Northern Nat in the play now, and Gracie and Tenor, but Tenor within a lap and a half is absolutely cooking. Panda 3-second penalty. I did say we were going to see a lot of penalties here tonight. Grazy 19 seconds, Benjamin with 3, Ali with 9, Panda with 3 now, Kane with 18 and Josh with 3. But the pace of Tenor this evening, unbelievable, as Grazy decides enough's enough, 15 laps on those hards, I've got to go. Again, 1 lap older than Tenor, so Tenor is making it look like he's still running on a fresh pair of softs. He's now clear. Bartmandu now moves up into the podium positions. Captain Nibs robbed of pole position for Bartmandu, putting an absolute blinder of a lap in Q3, managed to get himself on pole. Well, anyway, says that I bet Nurse tyres are absolute toast, mate. They will be cooking. I'd be very, very interested to see Nerf Pack's tyre wear come the end of this race. But this is the one here. Northern Nat, Captain Nibs, Bartmandu. Very, very interesting. 3 drivers potentially for P3 here. This is going to be the battle here. I was saying earlier, Captain Nibs robbed the pole position by Bartman. Bartman put in a flyer a lap. Captain Nibs made it very, very clear that he likes Qatar. He likes this track. I did think earlier that that tyre strategy was perhaps going to cost him, but now, possibly not. We're on the penultimate lap here, lap 28 of 29. Captain Nibs slowly chipping away at the time here. Gets himself within a second now of Bartmandu. Can he hold it? 10 lap old mediums up against 15 lap old hards. Tenor, you've got nothing to worry about, mate. Put that thing in neutral and coast it home. No silly moves. No need to really be pushing anything. Cavola 6.3 seconds clear, mate. As Josh picks up a 3-second penalty. Bartmandu 1.2 second gap now to Cavolis. I don't want to sound biased here. I am a big fan of Cavolis. I like to see his name up there. It would be really good to see him secure himself P2 the year this evening. Positions gained and lost. He's made up 6 positions. He's been flying. He's had a good race so far. Bartmandu down 2. Looks like he's going to try and put an end to it. Again, 5 positions made up for Cavolis would still be a good result. P3 would still be good, but again, he's got Captain Nibs right behind him. As I say that, Captain Nibs appears to have dropped off slightly. 1.2 second gap. Northern Nat as we head on to the final lap. Can he do anything with the DRS here? He's going to be too far back. It'll be a late lunge. It's not going to be a lunge at all. Couldn't do anything with it. Bartmandu managed to get himself within 7/10 of Cavolis here. Cavolis seems to be struggling a little bit here on these hards. 16 lap old. Tenor just disappearing into the distance here. I did say put that thing in neutral and coast at home, but he isn't. He's still gaining a little bit of time here. Is it because Cavolis has pushed a little bit too hard on these? Perhaps struggling a little bit. 6.6 seconds to 7.2. Good gap. Bartmandu 16 lap old hards. Nice and easy coasting it round here. A little squirt of the battery on that slight uphill. Into the triple right hander. Keeping it nice and neat. 6/10 down now to half a second. We'll jump on board with Tenor as he comes round the last corner. Manages just to keep it on track. There we go, ladies and gentlemen. Tenor takes your win here at Qatar. What an absolute drive from the silver driver. Cavolis manages to hold on to second. And Bartmandu in third. Captain Nibs in fourth. Northern Nat in fifth. We do have some penalties flying around here, but I believe Welsh Benjamin will take sixth position. Nerf Pack in 7th. I am going to let some of these times just sort themselves out, guys, because we do have some big time penalties towards the bottom. Captain Hindsight will take 8th. Max Mario in 9th position. Oh, he jumps up to 8th. There we go. Captain Hindsight in 9th. Mihai in 10th. And I am going to let the rest of this sort itself out, because at the bottom is absolute pandemonium with penalties. Tenor decides to just jump in at the very end there, mate. Boom! Boom indeed. Sir, take a bow. Take a bow. What a drive. Was not expecting you to be pushing those kind of gaps towards the end of the race, but what a drive, mate. Take a bow. So there we go. Mihai takes 10th. He rounds up the top 10. King Panda in 11th. Ali in 12th. Josh in 13th. Kane in 14th. Grazy in 15th. And Phoenix and unfortunately Dan are our DNS for this evening. Mate, my comms were absolutely horrendous tonight. I'll stand, like, it wasn't great at all. It's been a long time since I've done it solo. But if need be, you know, if Curly can't attend, I'm more than happy to help you boys out as and when I can. Not a problem at all. As long as Dan will have me, I'll be here. Now, what I will say, Tenor, Cavolis and Bartman, unfortunately, lads, I really, it's the back of 10, boys. I really want to shoot off and go and get my dinner, have a shower and get to my bed. I'm up early again for work tomorrow. I hope yous are okay with me not doing any post-race interviews. Again, next week when Curly's here, more than happy to let him crack on with it and let me jump out. But for tonight, I'd like to just shoot off if that's alright with you guys. But a massive congratulations to Tenor, Cavolis and Bartman. Really unfortunate there for Captain Nibs. He was, honestly, I thought he was on an absolute flyer as well. Thought his tyre strategy was going to cost him. Again, 4th position, not bad at all for the Haas team. 7th with Nurse Pack as well. Started from 11th on the grid. Really, really good drive for the guys. Well done, boys. Take a bow. Absolutely brilliant drive. And for everybody that's tuned in for the first time, my name's Wirabe. I'm a Tier 3 driver here with CDR. We race on a Sunday night at 8:30 PM, so be sure to tune in for that, whether it's here or on Twitch. And yeah, welcome to CDR Racing League. It is an absolute fantastic place to be. Some really, really competitive drivers here, up and down the 3 tiers that we've got, and including the F2 as well, I believe. So if you're interested in getting involved, give us a shout, let us know, and hopefully, if the boss man's got space, we can find some room for you. But until next time, guys, I'm Wirabe. This has been CDR. I'm not looking forward to Qatar. I'm out, boys.